Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJNTV Insiders.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the PHDJ podcast. My name is Mike.
Yes, sir. This is Joe Bunn.
How's it going, Joe?
It's good to see you, man. We've had a couple of weeks off.
We've had a sporadic run here. We recorded like two, and then you went away, and then two, and then I went away, and next week we got to dump a few because I'm going. Kelly and I have a 2-week vacation coming up, so. Man. Yeah, it's not going to be until June that we get any kind of weekly regularity here.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know how you pulled that off in May, man. That's good planning.
Dude, you got to do my first big vacation years ago with Kelly was to Oktoberfest in Germany. Yeah. That was always a bucket list item and something that I thought for a while I was going to have to wait for retirement. You know, I thought, hey, I'm going to have to wait till I retire. And I finally just said, screw it, man. Why did I build a company if I can't take 2 weekends off in October? And I did it, and it was phenomenal. Kelly and I have talked about going back to Germany for Oktoberfest because it was that amazing of an experience. And, I mean, it's the same thing here. We looked into Iceland, and Kelly wanted to be there for her birthday. Her birthday is going to be during this vacation. So I took 2 weekends off in May. It's not the end of the world.
No, man, I love it. Trust me. I just had this discussion recently about, going to the beach with my family more, and I've kind of booked up a lot of my weekends up until July, but I'm like, why don't we just go during the week? I don't really like to be around crowds.
And hello, anyway. Exactly. During the week is better. I would much rather go to the, Asbury Park on a Wednesday afternoon.
100%.
In July is actually manageable compared to a Saturday afternoon. So
100%.
No doubt. If you got to work every Saturday and I got to hit the beach on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's actually for the best.
It really is.
So, hey, I want to kick this off by offering a public apology to Byron Gunter. I was in his seminar in Las Vegas, and I thought for the life of me that he said the R word, that he said retarded. Matter of fact, I was sitting next to Quayne, and I even said to Quayne, like I said it in the moment, I said, oh, man, he should be careful and not use that word publicly because it's become a hot button word. He denied saying it. I did get my hands on the video, and I've watched it, and I was wrong. I misheard him, and I apologize. I should have waited till I got my hands on that video and watched it before I made that accusation, and I made it in this podcast and also on the Disc Jockey News. So my apologies, Byron. I misspoke, and I hope that I did not harm your reputation at all.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to own up when you do something wrong.
I did, and I screwed up. It was fake news. Fake news.
That's all right.
So my apologies.
Well,
and you were with Alan Berg last night, I saw.
I was with Alan Berg last night.
But
wait, before I get to that,
okay.
you got to back me up 1 week prior though, and give me the quick
that's
3-minute.
in my notes.
Okay.
It's in my notes. I will get to if the topic A doesn't fill a half hour, we will get to Midwest Live.
Yeah.
If not, we've got a lot to record next week, so maybe next week.
Fantastic.
But short little recap. Midwest Live was awesome. So
great.
But I can go into specifics.
No, last night was the Wedding Wire networking event here in Raleigh. So it's probably been 4 or 5 years that I've done that event, and Alan, delivered as usual, gave some email etiquette tips as he always does, and about the importance of get back to people and things like that, and just a lot of new people in the room.
Good.
Maybe 125 people there, and this is how big their reach is, Mike. You can tell how many people are on that email list that were invited. I didn't know 20. And
that's your market, and you are tight in your market.
2 blocks from my office at this venue that I play at. So, but 20 DJs, and I didn't know 18 of them.
Wow.
Just mostly single ops, and they knew me, and that's cool. It's a good feeling, and they would love to see the DJ booth. They'd seen it online and stuff. So it was fun, man.
So did you sell any?
I may have, actually. I was pushing the booth.
Worked out. Yeah. Good. Very cool. And before we get to my main topic here, I know you have a passion for new music.
I do.
Have you seen the Childish Gambino video?
I have.
America. What is your thought?
I mean, I put on my Instagram story the other day, I just think Donald Glover's a genius. Like, I watch his show Atlanta.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I've seen him in the Star Wars, but I don't watch Atlanta.
Man, Atlanta is... There are 2 or 3 episodes this season, Mike, and I'll specifically look up the title of them because it's almost... it's not one of those things where you have to be totally involved. You know, one episode leads into the next.
So I could watch one.
Yeah. And you would just, and I'm not even going to tell you anything about it. And you'll get to the end and be like, what did I just watch? And then I'm going to tell you don't Google this episode, just watch it. But he's a genius, man. I mean, the video, I've watched it like 2 or 3 times, and I've watched him, and then I've watched the video not looking at him and all the stuff in the background. It's just crazy.
That would be my best advice to anybody. Yeah. Watch the video, and the first time you watch it, you're going to watch him, just him.
He's unbelievable.
You can't take your eyes off him, but then go back and watch it and try to ignore him and look at what's going on in the background of the video. It's haunting. I just think it's, whether, and I know you don't want to get into politics, so whether you agree or disagree with the anti-violence, anti-gun statement, you can't deny he's made a powerful statement. You could say he's completely wrong, whatever he's trying to say in the video, but you can't deny, I don't think, that it's a powerful, powerful statement. And I don't think the song is phenomenal, but the video is just, you can't take your eyes off of it.
I don't even think that was the point. I think the video was
it's almost like the video was, the song. You had to make a song to make that video. So let's come up with a song.
That's right.
The song is not amazing, but the video is. Okay. So real talk, Joe, right? We all love that term. Jason Jan, I said it a million times. You, I think, referenced it. Let's have some real talk about the future of this podcast and how you are feeling specifically, because you and I have worked together, 6 years?
More.
And the workshop, and then now it's been every week for the last year and change. You are frustrated, and I can tell that. I can tell that from the texts that are coming in from you and everything else. Let's talk about your feeling about our inability at this point to monetize this podcast.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm going to start with this. Let me start with my overall statement about the podcast in general, or about this point in my career in general. There is nothing to me at this point in my career more rewarding than helping other DJs, period.
Okay.
And I don't have any control of your inbox or your Facebook messages or your DMs on Instagram, but I can assume that you are getting just as many emails and phone calls and texts through all these different channels as I am from various DJs throughout the world, honestly, that may just be... the other day, somebody asked me something as simply as, what kind of computer am I DJing with and what do I use in my office?
Right.
That's a 2-second email. Sometimes the email turns into a phone call. You know what I mean? And if it's a 5 or 10 minute phone call, glad to do it. If it's an hour or more, then I usually charge a little bit.
Right.
So I guess that leads to my next point, which is at a certain point, all the you have a limited amount of time in life. Who showed that video? O'Clock, Jason showed that video with the jelly beans or whatever they were counting out.
Oh, God, what
such a great video.
Yeah. This was at Mobile Beat, by the way, that Joe was referencing. Jason Clock did a great seminar about time management, I think was the overall topic. And this was a very powerful video about how we utilize our time and where it goes and who we should give it to. Yes, great point.
You just have a finite amount of time on this earth, and you have interests, and you have a wife, and you have your dogs, and I have a wife, and I have kids, and I have, working out and other things I want to do. And, at a certain point, all the give, it takes up even more of that time. So I'm all about it. I love speaking at these things. I still don't think I've ever been paid to speak at anything. We do the DVDs, you and I, maybe once a year, and we kind of sell those. For me, the podcast, of course, we started it to help people. And, here we are, 70.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's be completely honest. We started it for a number of reasons.
We did.
Helping people was one.
And promoting the workshop was two.
That was definitely on the list of reasons we started this. And how did that work out?
I think it worked well for Las Vegas. But did we do any better than without it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you
10
compare,
people?
we did Las Vegas 2 years ago without a podcast.
Yeah.
And we just about doubled our attendance this year.
Okay.
In Las Vegas.
So maybe it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, but we can't directly tie it to that, can we?
What else has changed in 2 years? Do you and I have that much higher of a profile in this industry?
You're very handsome.
Than we did. I've gotten handsomer, but I doubt. I'm thinking about that room.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was there because of how handsome and attractive you or I are. So great argument, but probably not the reason.
Man, I don't know. No, I guess not. That was the only, twist or change, if you will.
Right. So just so that everyone knows what we're alluding to, Joe has been very aggressive, and I give you 100% credit here. You have been very aggressive going after some manufacturers, and we don't have to name names, but trying to get sponsorship for this podcast.
Just
and
like every podcast that you guys listen to, brought to you by so-and-so.
Right. And so far, we have struck out. And I don't think the numbers you've thrown out there are overly overwhelming. We're not asking for thousands of dollars and everything else. But so far, over the industry, right? And I don't think that's, and I don't say that to you to embarrass. I don't think that's lack of selling skills on your part. We put together, I think, a killer press kit.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it shows how handsome we are. But you struck out. So my point is, I've been on the receiving end of a number of texts from you, and I can feel the frustration building, and I don't want this to be a source of frustration for you. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want this weekly podcast to be like, God damn it, we got to do this again. Coming up with a topic is hard. I'm not monetizing this. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of my energy. So
I'm not there. Put it this way: for everyone listening that is like on the edge of their seat about, am I getting ready to quit this thing and make Mike do it solo?
Don't commit to that. We tease that at the end of the episode. Find out next week if Joe is. You don't give it up.
You're right. Sorry.
Zach, who shot JR? I mean, I was trying to time this out to get to the end of a half hour with you not making a decision. Earlier. Yeah, sorry about that. No, I'm only kidding. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear because
man,
I fully expect to get a text message from you saying, that's it, I'm done. So you're not there.
No, sir. I'm not there. So well, let's parlay this into the Instagram story that I texted you. Okay. So there's two ways, and again, guys, so being a really still new to the podcast game. I mean, even though Mike and I have been doing this almost a year and a half, I mean, we still consider ourselves newbies, and I'm still in the very much interested in the whole podcast movement, the whole development of it. I've signed up for 2 online classes that I've watched all the videos. I am going to Philadelphia in July to attend a podcast convention for the first time. So I'm very much committed to it and trying to be better. And even starting to as a non-podcast, non-audiobook listener, started to listen to more and send Mike stuff and say, hey, Mike, we should try this, or, we need to market this thing a little bit differently. Let's move out of this 400 or 500 listener thing into the 1,000+ listener thing. I mean, even though we have a niche podcast or a niche, however you want to say it, we know just from DJ Ideas Sharing, there's 15,000, 16,000 DJs on that, in that group. So we can do better, I think, and I think that's really my goal, if nothing else. So in your research,
right?
Correct. In that research,
have you come up with how? Saying we can do better is probably a truthful statement, but it's also a very broad. Have you come up with any ways that we can do better?
I mean, between just listener inquiries, to us, and the things that I've listened to online, just sometimes I've noticed that some of the biggest podcasts that I listen to always tease the episode. So they'll do, hey guys, on this episode today, we're going to talk all about Midwest DJs Live and frustrations with podcasting. Roll the intro, and then then Tony T will come on, and then boom. Well, welcome
like we did. I think we did that but we actually didn't even tease the episode.
It's like a cold open. It's kind of like Saturday Night Live open.
Cold opening.
Yeah. So,
but we could do that. I mean, I think part of the problem is sometimes we switch on the mics and we don't. But we could, and when we get to the end of this, we could say, "Oh, hey, let's do the cold opening now that we know what we talked about."
Right, and then you can do it. Just take it back to the beginning and the end.
Right, like for example, in my notes, I have Midwest DJs live recap, but I don't think we're going to get to that. So if we had done a cold opening and mentioned that, then that would be So I think we could do that at the end. All right. But
let me get back. Hold on.
I don't see a cold opening tripling our listeners.
No.
Is that?
There's other things, and we can get into this on a separate phone call. You and I.
No,
I don't want to give away, but I don't want to give away all the stuff we're gonna do.
Why? What's Casey and Brian Onasisi going to steal it? I mean, what's the big deal? Who cares?
You would be surprised at how many DJ podcasts there are. I had a 6-hour road trip home from northern
I have
Georgia.
that in my notes. You mentioned that in one of your texts.
Jeez,
Does that make you jealous?
No, because I still think we're the best. I still think we're the best.
Your text like almost like F these people. Who are they to have? And I'm like, no, there's other DJs that I'm
No. I basically was saying, I think we need to be the best so that we are on the top of that whatever 10 different podcasts that people listen to.
Right.
Be the best. Right. Be the best DJ. Be the best podcast.
I'm all about
host.
that. I am all about that. And I think I think for what my criteria is, we try our best. We try our best every week. This week, probably notwithstanding, but we try our best every week to come with a good, interesting topic that is going to help our listeners either run better businesses or have better performances or be better DJs or whatever. And I personally think there's two types of podcasts out there: funny and interesting, or topical for an industry. We're obviously going for topical for an industry, and I think we're doing a pretty damn good job. Now, when you say do better, I think the marketing is how we could probably do better, because I think our content's pretty damn good.
It really
could
is.
It be improved? Absolutely, no doubt. But I think it's pretty damn good. But how do we get it in front of those
eyes, ears,
15,000 DJ idea sharing people?
Yeah.
And even the 15,000 members of DJ idea sharing is just a small percentage of all the DJs out there.
Yeah.
Especially if you consider all the kids who have a Mac in their bedroom and haven't even done a gig yet. But wouldn't those kids want to hear from two people like us? So how do we get it out there? That's the thing that I think a big part of the problem is there's so much content.
There is. It's not even a question. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I really was kind of blown away, when I made a post on Facebook last week about tell me your favorite podcast. I mean, that thing is well into the 60 comments at this point.
Right.
And there's still adding
repeats.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. But let me get back to one of the episodes in that podcasting online class, Mike, was about, monetization. And they were like, you've got two choices. You can have sponsors, or you can have subscribers. Or paid subscribers.
How'd that work?
Right.
How'd the subscribing work?
So I
didn't even see this poll. Where did you take this poll?
It was on Instagram stories. It only lasts 24 hours. So gotcha. you can, and I usually have about 300 eyes. You can see how many people watch your Instagram story. So about 300 people on my personal page. So that's only a tenth of the people.
And so you asked the question,
would you pay 99 cents for the PHDJ podcast on a weekly basis? Yes or no? Yeah. And I also posted on the Earn Your PHDJ Instagram story, which had probably 100 eyes on it. So let's just say 400 or 500 people dipped into this poll, and it was overwhelmingly, I think, 80-20 no. They would not pay.
And can I tell you something about the 20%?
Yes, sir.
They're lying.
Yeah.
The 20% that said yes would probably pay for one episode and then go, why am I paying 99 cents for something that I could get for free somewhere else? And I just think we've become a society that there's so much free out there that nobody wants to pay 99 cents, even if it's once a week.
In the age of free everything, free media, you yourself just went to the middle of America or wherever Wisconsin is and sold thousands of dollars of DVDs or thumb drives.
Okay.
So how is that any different? So, isn't there certainly somebody else out there that
But I did that after I gave a seminar, which was, okay, included in the price. But I believe I did that because my seminar was rock solid and I gave, I don't want to say free content because the attendees paid for a ticket, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't charge them. They didn't have to pay $25 to sit in my room. That was included in their fee.
Right.
After they got this killer content, then I was able to sell. And that's my point about this podcast. You know, Seth Godin talks about building a tribe. He talks about, and Seth Godin is a guy that he will, I don't even want to call it a blog because a lot of times his emails every day are two sentences. Yeah. Right. But every effing day, Seth Godin sends me an email, and he's probably got hundreds of thousands of people. That's his way of building the tribe, so that when he releases a book or has a paid
seminar,
workshop. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Consulting. Yeah, that's when he sells it. So my point all along has been, I think this podcast is doing its job. Yeah, because we had great attendance at our workshop. Yeah. You and I have both released a few products since we've started this podcast and done fairly well. So, and then also, let's also keep in mind, you said it's great to give to people and everything else.
I agree.
You and I both love our ego stroked. And when we go to DJ shows and people go, Joe, man, I heard that podcast. I just started listening. I binge listened the entire way on the way here. Come on, you got to admit that is a fringe benefit. Exactly. You and I both have that gaping hole in our souls that needs to be filled with praise.
Yes.
And so so as I look at my list of benefits, no, are we putting 100 hours in our pocket each week by doing this? We're not. But has it benefited both of us? I think it has.
Okay, but
and that's probably why my frustration level for not being able to monetize is here, and yours is pinging in the red.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So let's rewind to Mike Walter at 21. Yeah, that's a good age. Mike Walter at 21 or 22, just like people that listen to this podcast, probably early in their career, and so 52 weeks in a year. So for $52, you can listen to two industry veterans with 65 total years of mobile DJ experience spill all the beans. It's not worth $52 to get that.
Well, see, here's the thing. When I was 21 in 1987, yes, because there was no other means of getting that. That's a good point. You know, I remember when DJ Chat started, and I was like, holy shit, there's an online platform where DJs just chat about topics. I spent so much time early on with DJ Chat. And the same thing with the first DJ conventions. I mean, Star DJs, when I was working for them in the late 80s, early 90s, they took us down to Orlando. We went to Atlantic City, took a couple guys out to LA. And I mean, that first DJ show I went to, I was in every single seminar, front row, taking notes. I couldn't believe this wealth of knowledge that people
was happening.
Exactly.
Right.
But the problem now is, so would I have at 22 years old paid $50? Absolutely no question. But would I now, if I was just getting started, compared to the fact that I could scour YouTube and find, maybe it's not the same content, but it looks like it. It's the same reason why people say, well, I'm looking at a DJ down the street and he's half your price. It's not the same, but for some people it's the same. So you could fill 24 hours a day listening to free content from people. Why would you pay $1 an episode?
Okay.
And like I said, Joe, when you showed me those results, I said thank you to the 80% because they were honest, and half of that 20% was probably lying just to make you feel better.
I think it hurt. It just hurt my soul. I didn't expect that.
I could tell, dude. You were. I could tell.
I was legitimately.
I could tell.
Hurt. Like my.
And listen, here's one of the reasons why it didn't shock me or hurt me.
Yeah.
I will never forget. It's been about, when did I release my book? 10 years or so ago.
Sure.
I did a number of speaking engagements and released the book, and I spoke at DJ Times, and they gave me a booth.
Yeah.
And I did very well selling books that week. But they say you never hear the 100 compliments, you hear the one insult. I'll never forget this. I had one guy he came to my booth. Hey, great seminar yesterday. Thanks a lot. Picks up my book. He's flipping through it. He goes, do you talk about selling? I go, yeah, there's a whole chapter on selling, a couple chapters. You talk about marketing? Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff on marketing and videos you can make. You talk about hiring guys. Yeah. $25. He puts the book down. He goes, I'm going to think about it. And I will never forget that guy.
Right.
I probably sold 150 books that week.
Jeez.
But that one effing guy that wouldn't buy my, I didn't say no to one topic that he was interested in, and he walked away. So, yeah, are there cheap people in this industry? No doubt. But you got to do your best not to let them bring you down. Don't let the bastards bring you down. That's a Latin phrase. I forget how it is.
Yeah, I know
it's a great phrase. Don't let the bastards bring you down, Joe. And I feel, again, like your buddy and like your co-partner here, I feel like you're getting brought down by the negativity.
You know what though? You've kind of turned my frown upside down, because
what a great! I haven't heard that ever.
You know what? Because you started listening to all the positives, and I think that I was so clouded by the negativity with the poll and I took it as disrespect. Like, no, I wouldn't pay 99 cents to hear you speak. Right. And so I think I took it the wrong way and kind of lost my way a little bit. I mean, you and I are huge music fans and documentary fans, and we watch things about our favorite bands. That band Need to Breathe, that I love so much. They're brothers, which, as we know with Oasis, doesn't always work out. And I think,
and it's not just Oasis, man. You can go back. Look at Dire Straits. They didn't even show up at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's how pissed they are at each other.
And so, having two sons of my own, I can see how brothers.
You can see how they shouldn't be in the same band.
Right. They will definitely never be in the same band.
Right.
But anyway, man, I think that sometimes in a documentary I saw about those guys, they just said they kind of lost their way. They were trying so hard to be, Matchbox 20 or this big band, and that's just not what they were doing. Right. They kind of lost their way, and they lost their way as brothers and everything else. So I really am, never going to be frustrated to the point of not doing the podcast unless people stop listening. We've got this core.
So if our listenership stared declining, then you would say
drastically.
Yeah, then you would say it's time to give it up.
Yeah,
we've run our course. Yeah.
We played the best we could. We ran our course. We ran out of ideas, or people moved on to somebody else, or whatever. That would be the only thing that would make me put down the microphone. Right.
And listen, while we're talking about that, and this is in my notes. All things must pass. We didn't start this podcast a year and change ago saying this is a lifelong commitment. We're going to do this forever until the day one of us die. You know what I mean? If this thing eventually goes away, whether it's from lack of listenership or running out of content and running out of ideas, which I feel is probably going to be our demise, because man, it's getting harder and harder. You know what I mean? We've done, I think this is 69. So we've done 68 weeks worth of really good, interesting content. Eventually you get to the point where you're like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? So I think that out of every reason why this is eventually going to come to an end, I think that's it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. All things must pass. Most great bands eventually break up, and most great ideas come to an end. I think I'm proud of the work we've done. I'm proud of the content, and the content will live forever.
I was about to say, it lives on in perpetuity.
Yeah, I mean, other than a handful of ones that were topical about something this week, maybe a recap of a DJ show that 4 years from now will be like, well, who cares?
Right.
Most of the episodes we put out are going to be, important and relevant 5 years from now. So the content will be out there. So whether we continue for the next year or so, or we eventually say, man, this has got to stop, I don't think we have anything to be ashamed of.
Me neither, man. Me neither. So you want to put a bow on it, Mike? Is that?
Yeah, put a bow on it. Right. I promise next week I will recap Midwest Live. Again, short teaser. It was a fantastic show. You were one of the people that talked me into going last year. Yeah. Because you went last year and you loved it. It was a great experience, and I'm so thrilled I went. So
I'll be honest with you, as the photos started popping up, and then I'm getting like, where are you texts and messages throughout the early last week.
You missed being there.
I knew I'd screwed up. I'll be honest.
Hey, listen, I didn't go to Mobile Beat maybe 5-6 years ago, and I remember John Young had brought me out to NAMM, which was like 2 weeks before Mobile Beat. So I said, I can't really make bold trips. And I remember the same thing. You know, social media can drive you crazy because you're looking at pictures of people. And so, yeah, I mean, not to rub it in, but you missed a great week. I'll go into more detail. I will properly quote people so I don't make a Byron Gunter kind of mistake again.
There you go.
But yeah, it was a great week, and awesome. I'll give some more details next week.
Awesome.
So next week we got to come with 3 topics because we got to record, and then Kelly and I are going to Iceland for 2 weeks.
That's
awesome, this is our 4th trip there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that trip, by the way. So if you guys just remember the 919-364-6186. Just if you haven't done it yet, text PHDJ to that. And that'll be the...
Yeah, if you haven't done it yet, please do it today. It will help Joe's ego. It will help his bruised, fragile ego, his psyche. So let's get a deluge of people signing up for that. Consider it like a suicide hotline today. Just text
Jesus,
that. It'll help Joe in off the ledge. Not that bad. You should see the texts I get from you, man.
Do not read those texts. Do not start
I was going to call Ainsley last week.
I knew you were going to start.
Is she all right? Is he okay?
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to start reading those texts. Do not read those damn texts. And also, guys, just remember to subscribe on iTunes. Any day now, we should be on Spotify and Google Play. We're on Stitcher. We're on SoundCloud still. Like we're trying to put it everywhere. And again, when we post this, even better, tag a DJ friend of yours, somebody not in your market. How about that? Tag a DJ friend of yours and get them to listen to the podcast. We appreciate you guys. We're going to keep on cranking out great episodes. This was kind of a little bit of a filler episode. This is kind of like one of those.
I think this is good. I bet we get a lot of compliments on this.
Maybe you're right.
This was real, dude. You and I should be real. We built up enough listenership that we can not offer DJ related content every once in a while. Did we not get a lot of compliments on our Christmas Carol episode?
That's true. I
mean, there wasn't really a lot of relevant content there, but people just liked hearing.
They did like to hear about what other
you
people
and I
play at Christmas time.
Exactly. So I think this will be the same type of topic. I think some people will say WTF, but I think a lot of people are going to say, hey, man, thanks for letting us in. We lifted the curtain here a little bit.
This was the most real episode, if nothing else, because you dropped every cuss word in the book. So now
I ate the F word, but I did
you dropped an F word, you dropped an S word, and you dropped a GD.
I'm fired up, and I in quotes I said the word retard. So yes, this was a rough episode. Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back into the podcast host now and check the explicit content box for this. All right, guys. Thanks again, and we will see y'all next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.